Good morning, traders, and welcome to the crypto webinar series continuation here. Yesterday we had Nicholas Merton at Data Dash. Today I'm presenting from Bookmap here and go through some live order flow analysis. Data Dash. Today I'm presenting from. However, we're going to look at some important elements in here: market structure, setups, and strategies. But since we've released a lot of new indicators for crypto markets, especially the liquidation indicator, we want to go through liquidations in detail, answer your questions about that. Also, I want to compare that with the sweeps indicator and then also with Multibook. Here's why. You really start to understand how these markets actually operate when we look at these different indicators here that show very objectively what's happening at some of these areas. And it's rather amazing. The transparency is incredible. And these aren't typical like MACD, RSI, stochastics type of indicators. Those are just derivatives of time, price, and volume in a lot of cases. This is very different. This is very objective information. Right, and we're going to put that together into the market structure. All right, so anyway, a little bit about me. A trader of 15 years in a variety of markets. I'm the order flow specialist here at Bookmap, and I lead the trading education. So I have expertise in order flow and market microstructure. We're offering some discounts here. So it's available from these webinars here, 30% off the code here for any new monthly subscription for the first month only. Okay, it's good until June 13th, and this is the code here. I'm going to put it into the chat for you guys so that you have it. And then you can also win a free month of Global Plus, one winner for each crypto webinar. There's 6 webinars altogether, so you get 6 chances to win. Or 5 now since yesterday. And then the way to join or attend this, or add into this event here, is to go to Bookmap, the Discord channel that we have, and then hashtag special events room. And then what you're going to do is you're going to type in there CWS to enter. Okay, and here's the link to Discord. I'm going to put this into the chat for you guys as well. Okay. Hold on just a minute, and I will paste this. Okay, this is the coupon. Okay, and let me in Discord as well paste that in. There you go. All right, and let's go through the how to win a Global Plus for a month only, first month only. Okay, for new subscribers only. There you go. In Discord and then in YouTube here. Good morning, Madden. Okay, does that work for everybody? Yeah, all right, cool. All right, we're good. Okay, all right, guys. So anyway, those are the special offers. And again, we're doing this all week long here. Come and join. Use the take advantage of it. The 30% discount. That's quite nice to get started here for the first month. See if you like it, and take the leap. Then you also have the engage and try to win Global Plus free for a month as well. All right. So let's continue on. Let's go through some risk disclosure, general disclosures. All Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Let's dive in. Let's take a look here. We're looking at BTC USD right here, the Tether version from Binance Futures. And you can see pretty choppy here. We don't really have much action going after the big moves from yesterday. And that's fine, though. There's plenty to chew on here. And right off the bat, this new liquidations indicator, look what it's showing us. What's going on within this range here. Now, I'm going to take the heat map off here. The heat map here, for anyone who's new to Bookmap, what you're looking at here is just liquidity. It's from the order book. And if we zoom into the current market, everything to the right of this vertical white line is the current market. This is our current best bid and offer, last traded volume here, and then this is our price ladder. I have $10 per tick, and you can see these numerical values in this column here, current order book. This is showing liquidity, the amount of coins per each price level here. So up at 29,700 we have 128 coins. Down here we have 170 at 29,500. Right, so we're kind of in between two areas of high liquidity at the moment. And here's someone coming in right now, 115, 120 coins right at this 29,610 area, and now they pulled it. Okay, so you can see like all of this liquidity is represented in the heat map here. The scale of the heat map's in the top center of the chart up here. Now we can dim this if we like. Red and orange is very high liquidity, then yellow is less, then white, then blue, and then black is the least amount of liquidity. Now when the numbers change in here, you'll see the heat map change. But what we do is we record it and plot it on the chart here. All right, so hold on a minute. Okay. All right, so we plot it and onto the chart, and we can see the whole evolution here in the heat map of the orders. So look how we came down into this liquidity here, and we've bounced out of it and traded up into this liquidity up here. And there's still a little bit more buying pressure. See how the buyers came in? The dots here, these are red. The green dots are market buy orders. These are the dots or the orders here that lift the offer. Okay, it makes price move up. They take all the liquidity at these levels, and they still have more market buy orders that chew through other liquidity as the market goes up. Red dots are market sell orders, and this opposite. They chew through the liquidity. And you can see here, see how this guy's pulling that liquidity here? He does not want to trade. We're reading the intent of these traders here. Instead, they're down here at 29,500. Okay, so let's see if the sellers can reach down here to 29,500. Okay, and we're also, now what we're going to look at here is the liquidations in these areas. And I'm going to look for some liquidations. If we can get down below this 29,500, I imagine we're going to see some liquidations. And we'll verify that here in just a minute. Okay, one way or the other. We'll talk more about the liquidations here in just a second. All right. Okay. So let's see here. I'm sorry. If you have any questions, just let me know in the chats, and I can go through them for you. Okay, all right. I see some in Discord. A lot of guys inputting CWS, looking for that free Bookmap version, Global Plus for the month. Yeah, good luck to all. All right, let's take a look here and see if we can maybe hit into this liquidity. Okay, and we'll talk about the market structure and the volume within this structure here in just a minute. And this is very typical for cryptocurrencies from what I have seen. Look at the high amount of transactions just at the edges. And then look at the liquidation indicator here. Now I'm going to dim the heat map so we can look at it. And then you can see at these extremes in here, the amount of dollars, okay, that transacted up here and how many events, liquidation events. So $29,000 up here were liquidated over 14 events. Okay, the dot or the little rectangles or squares here represent each event. And we'll zoom in and we'll check out some of the details. But the bigger picture and the idea here is, look how the market probes these areas, finds liquidations, finds sellers, and they don't, their position here was long. However, we're hitting into these areas here, and down here we had only 5 events and only $2,550 dollars that were liquidated. So some small liquidations down here. However, look how it probes down in this area, and the most of the volume is trading down here, just below the market structure here where it broke down. And then we reverse right back up. Now this is the cash open for the US stock market here at 9:30, and typically we get this kind of volatility for the first 20 minutes or so, and we move right back up, and look where the transactions are taking place up here, and there's a lot of liquidations up here that have taken place. The market continues to kind of wobble back and forth in here, hitting traders on each side here. And these transactions here, so these buy transactions, well, their position was short, and they were liquidated by Binance Futures, the exchange. That's what happened up in these areas up here. Well, the transactions took place on here, of course, but we're showing it up above here. These traders, they were short. They didn't want to. They wanted to stay in their position, but they didn't have the margin. So the exchange actually forced them to buy, and that's what's happening. And note how almost at each extreme here, that's where we're seeing these liquidations. So you hear about market makers and stop runs and everyone manipulating the market this way and that way. Well, you can just see that basically the market is just kind of wobbling or in a random walk back and forth, hitting into areas, liquidating accounts, stopping people out, and then reversing and coming back up to the other side, and finding liquidations on the other side. And then it continues to probe and test. Okay, so that's what we're looking at here, and we can see that for this entire session. So it's 10 o'clock here East Coast time. This is 5 hours of data in here, and you can see precisely what's happening in these markets here. This kind of transparency in here is amazing to be able to see this. Now we have something similar. We have stops and icebergs for the CME group futures with rhythmic data, which is amazing transparency as well. This is too, being able to really see where these liquidations are taking place, and then being able to look for some sort of edge from this data. Okay? Well, if the market probes higher and can't find many more liquidations, like in here, see how it came back up and $744 dollars. That was it. Rotate back down, start to find liquidations on the other side here. 17K now on the other side. All right, well, so now can it probe a little bit lower? Can it find more down here? Okay, right around this 29,490 or so. Okay, so we were looking for that test into earlier, just when we started the webinar, we're looking for that test into this 29,500. Well, we got it. All right, now let's look at some of the details in here. We were looking at this liquidity here, okay, in the heat map, this orange bar here. They traded right into it. All right, so let's take a closer look at it here. And did they stay in the order book? Yes, they're trading and transacting right into this high liquidity here, and here it is. Okay, so we can see precisely what's going on in these areas here. Okay, we can also take a look here and see how many coins traded right in this little area. Okay, 141. So most of that liquidity in here, well, there's 204 over here. So about 60 of them were pulled. Okay, the rest transacted, and that's just fact. Okay, just like these liquidations, it's just fact. We know this, and we know that people are getting liquidated. That's pretty amazing transparency, and to be able to now look for where price might go and probe again to find other liquidations. All right, so let's take a look here. Is there any questions you have? Bitcoin is wacky and fun to trade. Yeah, I mean, the market, you hear like the random walk-up price. Okay, you hear these terms, Drew, about that the market is its goal is to facilitate trade, and that's what's happening here. Okay? And where is it finding these traders and facilitating these trades is where people are compelled to trade. They're forced. Their hand is forced here. Okay, not by their own will. In this case, it's by the exchange, which is pretty amazing to see. All right, so we just looking for this to continue back and forth randomly here. This is range bound trading. So down here around this 500, you can see 17,000 hit. It filled this liquidity. We're already rotating back up. Are we going to make it back up into 29,640? Maybe even up to maybe 700 here. All right, are we going to see liquidations on the other side? I'd be betting on it. We already had 33,000 over here. Let's see if we only had 744 here. That's really odd. So let's see if we can get up a little bit higher here and maybe trigger some more liquidations. All right, now the way that we can look at this, there's a few different ways. You can look at divergences, and Nick had mentioned this yesterday in the crypto webinar. It's rather straightforward to understand. If the market probes and tests up in these areas and it does not find liquidations on the second leg or third leg or whatever it is, and then likely it's going to rotate back down, and you're going to find sellers, responsive sellers, to push it back into the middle of the range here and maybe the other side of the range, and then compel those traders that are long to become sellers down in those areas here, okay, with liquidations of their accounts or positions. How do you catch a reversal? Well, we can go through reversal strategies here. Right now there really isn't, and maybe if on super low time frames we can take a look here, but this is all range bound activity right now. There's no question about that. And look at the the cash open. Like I said, hit one side of the range, hit the other side of the range, probed a little bit higher, didn't really, I mean, it found liquidations. It didn't really accept, it clearly didn't accept higher, and then we've probed a little bit lower here. Okay, so we're not looking for a reversal right now. And if we look at a very small time frame in here, well, we can look for that reversal. So here's a trend up, here's some distribution. Look at sellers already starting to come in. Great. All right, let's see if they can trade right back down to here, 29,500 or 540. And if so, can they continue? Can they make it back down to 500? Well, here's high liquidity coming in. Okay, so this is on a very small time frame. This is a reversal pattern in here. Okay, understood. Okay, and the bid is just testing that 540 right now. Okay, and we're looking at other areas of transactions down here. See this cluster of volume that transacted, and that's where it tested. Okay, because this is basically we're looking for these clusters of volume in here that represent what do they represent? I'll pose the question. What do you guys think? When we have a lot of traders kind of agreeing on a price level, okay, with their transactions. Let's see. When you say liquidation indicator shows liquidations by the exchange, does that include stop loss orders? Are not included here whatsoever. It's just that they were liquidated. That's it. It's a market order. Okay, so it stops and icebergs is a totally different thing. This is showing when that account was actually, or that position was actually closed due to the inability to meet the margin requirement. Yes, exactly. This is unique. Yeah, it's amazing to see. Really, it's stops. We don't really know. It could be, those could be entries, could be using I use buy stops and sell stops to enter, to be taken into a position. So we don't really know. However, when we see stop runs, typically that is people exiting the market very, very quickly. Right now, this is even more objective. That's what I like so much about it, and what I find so amazing. This is actually, we know that this is what was closed here. These guys were long, and they had to close their position by the exchange, not by their own hand. The exchange just said, nope, that's enough. You don't meet your margin requirement. You are out of the position. Icebergs is a very different thing. So icebergs, you're looking at hidden orders in the order book. Okay, and that only works on the CME group futures with rhythmic data right now. Okay, and those are larger players. They don't want to show their liquidity in the order book. They don't want to show, like, I have 184 coins down here. They don't want to see that. They want to, like, maybe kind of be hidden in here, so that they can get filled without trying to scare the market away. Okay, because a lot of times if you see a very short-term high shift in the order book here, a lot of times it repels price away. So if they do that, they're not going to get filled. They'd rather use a hidden order, which is an iceberg order. So only the tip of that order fills one little piece at a time. Okay, so that's the tip of the iceberg. All right. Anyway, really, you had issues with rhythmic, Oliver? Well, I mean, this is something that yeah, okay, so we'll get back in more into the analysis here. That's what someone is asking here, Motion Vista, and that's what we're here for. This is the kind of education we do every day. We go through what's going on in the order flow, and then give insight to where we think price is going to go next. Okay, so we're getting some buyers back up here after trading that 500. Here they come, and now I'm kind of curious here. It's a nice cluster of buying, and we already see 10K liquidations up here. I need to see a little bit more if this is going to break out and continue on up. Right now, you can see this guy pulled his liquidity up here, just in front of this 800 area, and yeah, I mean, right now it's just a very, very typical move to the other side of the range here, but there's, in the market structure in here, let's just go through that quickly. What are we seeing in the market structure here? Well, we made kind of higher lows in here, and we made a higher high here as well. So let's see if we can get enough buyers in here. Now the cluster of buying looks good here. We want to be very careful though with this, because here's why. In this section here, look where this cluster is taking place. Okay, it's up here. Buyers are they're getting liquidated up here. Okay, here's liquidations up here. All right, so maybe the market has probed up here. It found liquidations. It's not finding new buyers. It's finding buyers because their shorts are being closed. So that might be an opportunity for sellers to come in and trade right back down to 500 here. Right, so we're open to that scenario. We'd be looking for sellers right around here, around 610, maybe a little bit lower, 600. right? And then trade down to about this. Yeah, well, at this point, not just 500, 29,500. We'd be looking a little bit lower, maybe 29,450. All right, so we're not getting those sellers at the moment, but we're looking for that though, that potential scenario here. Okay, we're starting to see a little bit more buying, and if we can get a little bit more buying up here now, then I would be looking for the breakout. Okay, I want to see them. I want to see the buyers up here around the 650, 660 area. Right, and well, we're reading the order book here. We're reading here's our answer on this rotation here. Look at the buyers up here. I don't see any green dots. In fact, I see some red up here. All right, so now do we get sellers back down at 600? If so, then we can rotate back down into our 500. Now there's liquidity down at 500. Okay, this is how we read the order book in here. We read the transactions as well as the order book and the market structure here. Now, we're only talking about, $100 move here, but let's see if we can get it. I'd be looking for it, okay, because we rotated back up here. We didn't find buyers. So let's see if we get sellers here, and let's see if we get our push down here. Look at the liquidity on the offer here. Now, what's the reaction to this liquidity on the offer? Do we find sellers? Not so many right now. So that's the context we're reading in here, and then looking for that kind of shift to start to unfold. Yeah, we'll see if we get it. Levy, like liquidity, longer term liquidity acts like a magnet, typically, right? Because that's where the market can trade. When you get the very short term high liquidity, like we're reading in these little pockets in these areas in here, that's something different. And usually that means a very, very high supply or high demand in here. See, look at how we were looking for our sellers. We didn't get them. We're getting our buyers back up here. Okay, so, and that was one or two scenarios here, one or the other. We're getting our buyers here. I think they've got enough here to trade not only into 680, but I think 700 here. Okay, because we did mention like this market structure here. It's making higher lows in here and higher highs. So I think we got it now. Looks pretty good. Looking for the breakout up into 700. Maybe we can get up into 800. Okay, 800. Let's see what else is in the order book up here. Okay, yeah, we have 30K up here as well. Okay, we might get a nice move. Now look, see the buying pick up here again. This is looking good. We'd be looking for the breakout. All right, now this is not a trade recommendation. It's just reading the order flow. Now there's a few other things in here that would make this higher probability. It would be great to see high liquidity on the other side here on the bid. Okay, a lot of demand, and then that repel price away. Right now we're not getting that really. There's a little bit right now coming in. Very, very aggressive here too. Okay, very close to price, one tick away. And see how these guys are staying in the order book at 700. Okay, well it would be higher probability that this would go up to a higher level if these guys pulled that liquidity and we found more green dots, right? Then those green dots here, these market buy orders, they don't have to tangle with any sort of supply on the other side. Price can zip through that area rather quickly. But see how these guys, they looks like they want to sell. They want to be sellers up here. They're staying in the order book. We're reading their intent in here. So we're looking for the breakout, but let's see, someone's going to win the battle here. And see how this guy pulled here? See how he had liquidity and then he started to pull it? So that they're up here at 700 instead. All right, we're finding our buyers. Let's see them take on 700, and let's see if they can trade through it here. Now it's not a whole lot of liquidity. It's it's not bad. It's 230 coins or so at 700. It's not bad. But see how these guys are down here at 660 with 185 coins or so. So we're right in between these two areas of high liquidity, and we're trying to read and assess like what's going to happen here. Buy side looks pretty good here. There's more buyers than there are sellers at the moment, but we need to really want to see these guys pull this liquidity here and have these buyers come up and float through this area here. And see the order book's becoming stacked now on the offer. So this is not high probability. It's as simple as that. We're reading the order book here, and then it's not really doing what we're looking for. And look what happened. Now we find sellers. All right, great. So we're finding sellers. Now let's see them bring it right back down now. This would be a quick scalp to something like 600 here, because we're not finding buyers up here. These guys stayed in the order book in here. Okay, up here, 700. So it's really back and forth in here right now, and we're trying to gauge and understand like the context between these buyers and sellers in here. Okay, look at this again. Liquidations up here, 22K. So it's still finding liquidations up here. Yeah, these areas of liquidity in here, well, it really depends on the market conditions. Sometimes you'll see like maybe there's a couple hundred coins and it's no problem. See, here come the buyers mounting their attack again here into 700, and they just transacted into 700. Okay, now they're pulling. Now we have a straight line here. If we can get through so a little bit more buying at 700, there it is. We should be able to break now into 800, just looking for these buyers to carry it on up now. Okay, they've kind of won the battle here, right? So we're looking for them to try to probe and extend higher and hit more liquidations on the other side here. So we only have 8,100 so far. I want to see thousands up here. Let's see here, other questions. Volume is the aggressor is what moves price here. Right, so because what happens is they continue to take liquidity, the aggressor. You hit the market buy button, you're hitting into liquidity. You take enough off of one price level. There's our move, guys. That's what we're looking for. And look how kind of catastrophic that move was, how quick it happened, right? This makes crypto really challenging, I think, to trade, because we're looking for it. We kept on, we thought in here, well, we didn't find the buyers. We found some sellers in here. Here they mounted their attack again, and then in here we liked it when they started to pull that liquidity in this area, and we found more buyers in here, looking good. And then nothing in here, nothing, no insights. All of a sudden the market buys come in, and then we get the move higher like this. Okay, and then looking for this to continue now. Let's see if they can get a little bit more buying up here at 850, and let's see if we can get a bit higher. Maybe we can get up into our 30,000 here. And you can see here, same ideas that we just covered. Okay, so this is strong, consistent buying, and nice liquidations as well. Actually, not so many. Now look up here. Here's the retest. Where are the buyers here? If this is going to be kind of like a bull flag, like lots of buying, and then takes a little bit of a breather here, and then buying resumes again. That's what we'd be looking for. Okay, but we didn't get our buyers here. We got zilch up here, nothing. So, let's see if we can rotate again up here and get those buyers, and then we can get our breakout, and then we'll be looking for 30K at that point. So anyway, you can see we had a little bit of insight in here, and then we just had this really quick move. Okay, but our bias here was to the long side due to this context between these orders in here in the order book and the way they were reacting to the green dots in here, the aggressors, the market buy orders. Let's see, more questions in here. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep up with the questions. Bird, I think I've answered your question about how price moves up and down like this. I think pretty clearly. I mean, if not, I'll go over it again. No problem. But it's this context between buyers and sellers. Okay, or liquidity, limit buy orders versus market. See how that we're still looking for this to go higher, and they pulled that liquidity here. See how they pulled it away at the last second. And now, do we get buyers here? Yeah. All right, so they should be able to push it into 900. See the buying coming in right here. See, there they are again. Let's see a little bit more. Nope. Now see how they have to chew through that, and they did. So we have buying pressure in here. So still looking for 900. Now this is important to cover here, that although this is kind of like hyper scalping, but this dynamic here in market microstructure works on all time frames. This is how the market works in general. It doesn't matter what time frame you're going to be looking at here. So it is the orders that move the market. It is the orders that makes up the market. Without orders, you do not have a market. It's as simple as that. And this dynamic on these very small time frames here work on much higher time frames. So let me take a look and show you another product of ours called Bookmap Web, and I want to cover higher time frame analysis here. That's correct, Bert. Yeah, so the market, the aggressor, it's the aggressors versus the passive orders. So the passive orders are the ones like when you place a limit buy or sell. You're saying I'll trade with you. I am willing to trade, but only at this price level, and then that's it. And that's why you can see how these guys, they put their liquidity in. Now this is algorithmic activity, because they're able to very quickly move that liquidity around and add it, pull it, etc. And you'll see some of these algorithmic patterns in here with some specific orders. Right now, these guys, they look like they wanted to be buyers, then they pulled it. So that answers that question. Did they really want to be buyers in here? And the answer is no. If they did want to be buyers, they would stay in the order book like they did down here. These sellers in here, they stayed in the order book and they transacted. Here the transaction is taking place right into them. So these guys got what they wanted. Okay? It might have been a position to close. Maybe they took their profits up here. It might have been they wanted to get short there. Whatever at 700 here. Okay, whatever the case is, we just know that they transacted. All right, so let's see what's happening here. All right, so here again is our exhaustion up here. We're looking for that kind of bull flag and that continuation here. Look at this. See how we had a lack of buying here, looking for sellers to try to drop it maybe down to here, 720. Okay, this here, and someone that talked about reversal pattern on a very small time frame, this is a reversal pattern. Okay, this is kind of like a little mini double top or even a triple top. Okay, it tried and got some buyers here, none here, none here, looking for sellers on the other side, looking for the drop back down, and maybe test where these buyers broke out from. Okay, and there's already liquidity down there. They want to be buyers down here. Yes, we do offer a lifetime license, Jose. So you can go to bookmap.com and in the pricing section, you'll see that. We do have some giveaways as well. We have a 30% discount is for first time, and it's only for the monthly. It's only for the first month, in fact. 30% discount. So get you in the door with the discount. See if you like Bookmap. It's for a Global Plus subscription, okay, which is about $100. So you'll get it for $70. Okay, and that has all the bells and whistles. All right. Anyway, guys, let's continue on here. I think you get the idea here. We were looking for that breakout. We got it. And we're still, looking for a continuation of that breakout. We're just looking for a small pullback at the moment here. That did unfold. It didn't come down here to 720 though. Okay, and now we're back up here again. So we've rotated back up again. Now I'm looking again for buyers up here, and I'm looking for it to break out into 900, 920, and I'd like to see it come up into 30K up here. Okay, so we're looking for buyers up here again. Right, we got our rotation, this mini, just in the microstructure, that is a reversal pattern. And the move back down here, I wanted to see a bit more of a continuation here. We didn't get it. We're back up here. Here are buyers. See them pulling that liquidity at 900. Great. Looking for buyers to trade into it, through it, on up to 30K. Now, I would love to see more liquidity here on the bid, showing buying interest and demand here, and they're not. I mean, they're at this level here, about 800. And there's a little bit right there. 840. What's the reaction? Buyers. Great. Let's see them trade now into this liquidity here. I want to see buying pressure trade into it here. I ultimately would love to see these guys pull that liquidity. That would be great. That would give us more insight, okay, to the move into 30K. All right. Anyway, guys, I don't want to get into too much minutia here on reading the order flow in this. I mean, this is what we do every day in our advanced education. It's free. Just come to our YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and yeah, we cover this all day long, basically. Okay, we're just not really seeing too much of a move here. Well, for the time frame right now, actually, if you look at all of this action in here, we are catching a bit of a move in Bitcoin, which is nice. It's just really not much of a move. Okay, but that 30K looks pretty good up here. Let's see if we can get up there. Look at the liquidations up here, 221K. So a lot of people are getting stopped out up here, or liquidated up here. That's pretty amazing. If you have any questions about this liquidation indicator, let me show you where you can find it. Okay, you go to bookmap.com, and then go to the More button here, and then click on Knowledge Base. The Knowledge Base is the go-to section for our user guide. That throws you into the user guide section right here, but we want to go to the add-on section. So click on that. And then now you're in the add-on section, and all the add-ons are here in the left margin. So click on Liquidation Indicator down here at the very bottom, and that'll take you to that section. And then the right margin is showing a breakdown of what's in the article here. Okay, so if you want to watch the video, it's here. It's 6 minutes long. You can read about how to install it. Just click on that and come back down. This is what's required here. Okay, you need to have 7.3 build 26 or higher for Bookmap, and then you can download it right here. And then it shows you how to install it, etc. A note here, see how number 3 here, it only connects or only works for these 4 different exchanges for cryptocurrencies. Okay, but all the instruments for these 4 different exchanges: Binance Futures, Bitfinex, FTX, and Bybit. Okay. All right, guys, still looking for that move into 30K, and we're almost there. Still seeing buyers here. Yeah, let's just read this a little bit more. Yeah, so see how even these guys, they did not have the intent to trade. They pulled at the last second. Okay, it looked like they wanted to. It kind of kept the cap on price from going higher, and then these buyers came in and they got out of the way. And we have more liquidations up here. So it looks like it really wants to trade 30K. Yeah, there's an algo in here is kind of keeping a cap on things as well. Looks like he's willing to get out of the way pretty quickly here. Yeah. So let's just see it. We need the buyers just to hit into him. Looking for it. There we go. And let's see 30K. Now immediately pulls back to where it broke out from. Got to find some support here in the order book. They're here at 20 and 30 here. 930, 920. And now we need to get our buyers back here at 950 and then the move higher. There, look at see this more demand here, and see the reaction to that demand. Buyers, right? That's what we're looking for earlier. This right here. What was the reaction to high liquidity here on the bid? That's pretty aggressive, and we found buyers. A little bit more. Nope, can't do it. A little bit more up here was at 960 is where we need to see it. And then we'll probably get the move. See the structure in here? Okay, the buying looks pretty good in here. And then see how it just kind of dried up here? We're not finding any buyers back up here at 960. Now we are. Yeah, now we'll get the move. I want to see it break above it here too. I want to see there's even more buying pressure to kick through this 30 level or a 30K level. Maybe up to like 200, 100, 200, 400 up here, 300. All these areas at the hundreds. There's our move into 30K, guys. That's what we're looking for, and we're still looking for more. You know, still looking for continuation here. There's still quite a bit of buying in here. Okay, now we need to cover the other. This is the big figure, obviously, clearly. However, we need to cover the opposite scenario here. So this could be trapped buying back up above this area in here. And what would that scenario look like? All right, let me get the pen out and I'll just kind of draw it up. This is what that scenario would look like. Sellers, big sellers in here. Let me get the different dot. Okay, red dots down here where it broke out from. Red dot, another red dot, another red dot, pulling that market back down. Okay, we look for that scenario, and then where might it go? Okay, well, we look for other areas of high liquidity as well as market structure. Okay, so down here to 850 would be a good area. Okay, see how that scenario is starting to, it's being tested here, and if we get enough sellers in here, then likely we will get down to like 850. We could even come back down to here where the liquidity is down here, around 700 or 670. Okay. So anyway, that's what we look for in the context, and we go through these different scenarios and start to understand the context in these scenarios in here. Are there any questions about this? Is this do you understand what I'm talking about? Is it clear that what we're looking for in the order book, this context here? Now, the liquidation indicator here is giving us pretty amazing transparency. And look on this trend up here, for example. Now, this is very typical from what I have seen with the liquidation indicator. If the market continues to find liquidations at higher highs, it will continue to press. Look at this pullback and look at the measly amount of liquidations it found down here at this area right around in here. 2,736. That's nothing, right? And now it only found 570 up here. Okay. Someone unlucky guy in here, and then gets liquidated here. So there's a potential here for it to reverse at this point. Did we get sellers down here? No. In fact, we reverse back up, or we rotate back up when we get buyers in here. Therefore, we're looking for the breakout, and we got it. Okay, and now we're looking for that potential of sellers over here and then them dropping it back down. 850 is what we first said would be the first target. Okay, that has just about unfolded. It came back, at least the best bid went down here to 860. Transactions happen at 870. All right, so again, just reading the order flow in here. Now, did we get any liquidations down here? That's a whole nother question. No. Or I'm sorry, we did. We only had 2,700 again. All right. Well, can the market find more liquidations on the upside? Searching and probing for those people that are short and to liquidate them. They're compelled to buy. And that's what we'd be looking for. And we go through these different scenarios in here. And again, like I had mentioned, this works on all time frames. It's just good to go through this in our education. This is what we do all day long. We go through these different scenarios on these low time frames so that you can extrapolate this information, see it in real time, and start to trust it. And then you can move that though and extend this education to all time frames. Okay, so let's take a look at something in here I wanted to show you, and that is Bookmap Web. And then I want to also go through another point in here and talk about the sweeps indicator and show you book sweeps also with liquidations. Okay, so hold on a minute. Yeah, here we go. All right, so you can go to web.bookmap.com, and then this is it's open, it's free, it's running, and now here I have I'm looking at a month of data here. Or am I? Now I am. Okay, so and here's the big move to the downside, as you guys can see, and then look at all the chopping back and forth in here. And look at the move back up in the market structure here, if everyone can see that. We have new drawing tools in here with the, let's see, where is it? I know we do. Here they are. All right, so let's take a look at this. See this big, huge area here. Okay, consolidation. Let's go to the current market. And now we're going to try to read the order flow on in this example here as well. And take a look at what's happening in some of these areas in here. Basically what we saw. Oops, what did I do here? All right. Okay, so we're looking for buyers up here, right? Well, we've got, this is much higher time frame kind of filtered volume in here. We're not seeing many buyers up here at all. Okay, it's mostly selling in here, and again selling down here right now in the current market. Okay, so that bodes pretty well for what we've seen just the last couple of days, this move to the upside here and the move right back down. On the higher time frame, we're still looking for this to go a bit lower here. Okay, it even made a lower high in here, and look at the high liquidity at 32,000 up here, right in there. Amazing. So they don't want to tangle at all with this high liquidity in here. And what about liquidity on the bid down here? Well, there's some at 29,000 here, and then down at 28. But there's quite a bit more down here around 25, and they've been in here for quite a while. For the month, or for a month. Okay, so our higher time frame analysis in here is not bullish at all. In this structure in here, we're looking at the market structure, the price action back and forth, and the volume within it, and then look at the heat map within it as well. And you can clearly see that the heat map here, no one wanted to tangle at 32,000. And the market veered away from it and found more sellers down here. All right, so now that's looking at this monthly chart. Now we can extrapolate that data into today as well. All right, so here's our move higher, and on this time frame we were bullish and looking for this move to the upside. Now, if we want to align these in here, we'd be looking for sellers in here now. And this is not a bad place at all right now, right where we are, is to find some of those sellers. Okay, look at we talked about this this scenario here. We traded 30K up here, liquidations, trap volume, move back down, looking for sellers right here, right now at this area here, and then the drop down to 800. And then this could actually, now that we're going with higher time frame analysis, well, then we could look for a higher time frame move. Okay, this bullish move that we saw here was counter trend for the higher time frame. So looking for our sellers right here, right now, and see if they can drop it down into 800. And then boy, there's not a whole lot down here, but the next one would be, yeah, somewhere around 700, and then down to 500 here. Okay, bottom of the range. And then we zoom out, and we can see that, yeah, 29,500, and then down here below 29,000. All right, let me get back to some questions here. Bookmap Web is a separate product from Bookmap, David. It's free. Just go to web.bookmap.com. Bitcoin loves the stop hunt. No doubt about it, Drew. No doubt about it. And this is where that liquidation indicator can help you quite a bit. Yeah, and Drew, in terms of bias, I'll tell you. I mean, what I have found is just not trying to really be objective and not bias. The more that I can do that, the more that the chart can tell me where a price wants to go. Okay, that's why we go through the different scenarios in our education. Guys, we have an educational course. It's online. It's free. It's on our YouTube channel. You can look for it and just scroll down a little bit and you'll see it in there in one of the playlists. It's 4 parts, and then we go through this kind of analysis in the live market every day to support that education. And then we look at these smaller moves, smaller time frame moves, just so that you can kind of understand that education in real time and what to look for. And then, like I said, then that can be used, like what are we going to cover if we if you're looking at 32K up here over the last several days, and this liquidity, and no one wants to tangle with it, right? Well, we got our answer now, obviously, in hindsight, and the move lower here. All right, so anyway, any questions on market structure and what I mean by market structure? I don't know if that's been quite clear. I haven't maybe defined it too well. What I mean by market structure is if we take a lot of these elements off the chart right now, let's clear our drawings, and then we'll take off the liquidations as well. Okay, and we'll take off also the volume dots. And what here we can go up here. What I mean by market structure is basically this. We're just talking about price action and areas where it consolidates and breaks out, or trends, and reading that or understanding that structure. So here is, as we started this webinar, was pretty big structural element in here. Just we weren't looking for much during this webinar, in fact. And we were lucky. We found the buyers up in here, and we're looking for this breakout and the move up into 30K up here. So but the market structure is this: sideways consolidation, lots of price action, lots of volume. If you're a volume profile trader in here, then you understand that this is an area in here that is where price seems to be, it's a value area basically. And we can see a little bit of a shift in that value area right here. See at the 9:30 cash open, hit on one side, hit on the other. And this is where we started off the webinar at 10. And we're saying, okay, well, it did make a higher high here and it's making higher lows in here. All right, well, if we can get buyers up in here, we're looking for the breakout. All right, so and we're looking for that scenario to unfold. So, and then the break here rather catastrophic, and then we start to get some back and forth again. And we can take a look at it here. So here's one. See this little area of structure here, that sideways consolidation? Look how nicely it broke out from that, and then made this area of consolidation up here. Now we're going through that scenario of, can we get more sellers in here and try to trade back down to the bottom of this range here? Okay, and that would be the first test. Okay, so we'd be looking for that move down to about 800 just by looking at best bid and offer streaming back and forth in here. All you trade is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, Drew, sounds good. No, spot gamma options. It's they don't offer that. All right, guys. So we're looking. Look at what we're looking for. Okay, I mean, it's just unfolding right now. Okay, and this is just by understanding market structure. Okay, and the move back down to the bottom of the range here. Okay, or that potential scenario. Now, what do you think is trading in here? What do you guys think? And this move down here, what would you be looking for in here? Come on, someone's got to answer that one. What would you be looking for here? Right around this area in here in Bitcoin. No, not more buyers. You're not being sarcastic, are you, VN? We're looking for sellers. We're looking for sellers in here. This is remember, it's the aggressors that move the market. So we're looking for our sellers to move this market lower. Okay. Now the buyers are retesting it back here again, and they're just testing and probing this area. Did it accept up here? So let's turn our volume dots back on, and we're just going to look at volume dots and market structure. So here's our sellers, and we know that we know that they've got to come in here to move the market lower like that. And then here's our buyers on the other side trying to probe and retest back up into here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the third element here on the Bookmap chart and look at the heat map. Okay, where are the limit buy and sell orders? Where's the liquidity? Well, there was some here at 850 and it transacted and went lower. It didn't trade into this 800 liquidity here. We got a little bit of a bounce back up to 880 or so. And then again, looking for, let's see if we can get more sellers here again, right here, and then the move back down to 800. Yeah, just by the move, Mosidian, there has to be sellers in there. I mean, I guess technically there has to be a few sellers in there, at least, of course. But that's just typically how the market works. And in fact, now we can look at another thing in here too, and this we go through another scenario in here. It's getting kind of interesting now. Here, see this selling in here, they can be upended if we get buyers back up here, and we'll get a short squeeze. Now watch, we'd be looking for liquidations up in this area up here. So back to 30K if that scenario unfolds, and it could be a good one. We don't see, and we got to turn our liquidations back on. Yeah, I don't see many. All right, well, I'd be looking if that scenario is going to unfold. They're looking for buyers here, starting to unfold. Look at the book. This looks good. Look at the flip of the order book. See that? Let's see if we can get our buyers in here and back up to 30K. Okay, now watch. We should get, I would assume that we're going to get liquidations up here because we've got some of these sellers in here. And see how we're above those sellers here for the most part. Okay, so yeah, it did not, it traded back down to this area here, and it traded back out, and we're finding buyers up here right now. Okay, and let's see if we can get our squeeze here, our liquidation up into 30K here. And you know what? I would love to see it be a really quick move here as well. And then just this liquidation indicator here kick off with, you know, tens of thousands or so. See how that's playing out right now? See how it's probing, testing? See how we're starting to get some already up here? 5,200. Okay, we want to see more. We want to see a lot more. Well, the liquidations here, VN, is we're looking at in terms of liquidation, is you know, it's not a signal whatsoever. Okay? We're looking for it as a confluence. Okay, just like we're going through and outlining. All right, so if we get down below here, we're looking for the move down below. We got it. And then these guys can be upended if we can get back up above them and then get them to be squeezed up here. So we only got a few, and we did not get the fast move we're looking for. We only got a few, but it's not over yet. Right, we're still above that area here, and we're still finding some buyers in here. Bert, can price be controlled by adjusting the spread? Absolutely. Well, I mean, you know, if it's a really thin market, that'd be a lot easier for sure. But someone can just jump in and just say like, oh no, I'll be a buyer in front with a, you know, my limit buy order in front of you, and that's what makes up the market. So that's a good point here. In fact, we can even go over this here, like how these markets actually work, and understanding volatility. And you can see this in here. I saw it at 7 o'clock. Boy, that's data loss there. So the market kind of disconnected for me, but there was something around 7, I thought. Yeah, was it here or was it yeah, maybe it was FTX. See, look at this. See this liquidity in here? Pulled. Now this is not the same player. You know, these are multiple players, and they're kind of following one another. That's why you're getting this kind of crescent-shaped arc. Is they're pulling liquidity, and then someone else is reading it and kind of pulling up here, and then they're pulling, but a little bit later, right? They don't want the risk. So there's maybe something, some event here, maybe some geopolitical thing, maybe someone was speaking, I don't know. Whatever it is, they pulled a lot of that liquidity from the book. See how dark it got in here? Now, because it's so dark in here, this is the same thing as basically widening the spread, because it's just a much bigger picture view of it. Where did the liquidity stay in the order book? Well, it was down in here, in this area, or here as well, right here at 29,000. See how they stayed in the order book? Well, what does that mean? It means that these sellers, if they did come in and start to hit the bid, this is where it can easily go back down to. Okay, buyers, they could easily come back up into these areas up here. And wherever the liquidity, it's just simple. I mean, it's not really complex stuff. This is just where the buyers are. The rest wanted out of the market. Okay, so you know, you can read all of this here in Bookmap, and you can see this kind of behavior several times. In fact, now we see this in the S&P and in the Nasdaq as well. You'll see these kinds of areas where they'll be pulling that liquidity and adding it back in. And it's interesting stuff. All right, well, let's see here. I wanted to go through. Let me know if you have any questions about the liquidation indicator. You know, we can show it on the on chart here, but also in the sub chart here, these spikes. And guys, we're still looking for that move into we're up, we upended these sellers here, and see how I'm looking for the quick move now though. I want to see buyers up here, and I want to see the quick move and a spike, not only into 30,000, I want to see it up higher here, and I want to see a lot get liquidated, not 7,300. I want to see, like, 57,000, or whatever it is. Here's another thing, like, it's kind of interesting. So this is Binance futures. Here's FTX. Okay, liquidations also work for FTX. So let's dim the heat map here for a moment, and look how many we have in here. Not so many, right? We have a lot more here in Bybit. What about Bitfinex? At this moment, I don't see any in Bitfinex. So just a simple question. We'll just pose the question here for here's our move, guys, and I'm looking for a really nice, quick, clean move back up above 30K here. Would love to see it here, a quick one. It's starting. See how the liquidations are picking up? I want to see it press higher. I want to see it really kick off a lot more. So the what was I going to say? The liquidations. Why do you think we're seeing so many here in Binance futures compared to some of these other exchanges? What's the difference? I mean, so many more than like Bitfinex. I mean, 100% more. Oh yeah, good. Mosidian, I'll go over that. What does it mean in here? So this slash in here. Yeah, Bert, exactly. More speculative, but it's leveraged, and it's kind of showing you here that people are over leveraged. Too many retail traders. Well, I guess that's potentially the an answer as well. But it's a leveraged product, and yeah, people are either kind of gambling with it, or just really mismanaging their trades, or just not understanding leverage. So you're just seeing liquidations all over the place. Okay, so the slash, what does the slash mean in here? It's the number of events. So here we have 7,305 in dollars, and then /6. So let's zoom into this area here. So it means 6 events. Now if I zoom in here, I can actually look at each individual event, and here they are. So now you don't see a slash in here, right? You see 27 or 2374, 1082, 150, 1653, 1564, and 481. No slashes. So these are each small liquidations in here. All right, now I zoom back out and see how it aggregated these 4 into, and it gave a total here, aggregation of 52,660 with 4. And then here's another one here of 2045 for 2. And I zoom out a little bit more, and now I get the /6 for 7305. Yeah, kind of. I mean, reading order flow is kind of, yeah, it's kind of like reading the matrix. I mean, like, how do I want to put this? It's really actually it's pretty simple stuff here. It's not rocket science. You have to kind of almost unlearn a lot of things that were taught. They're just so wrong. Looking at and relying on heavily on indicators, or not really understanding these markets. And that's what I'm trying to get at here. Talking about market structure, and then looking for these moves to unfold due to the volume and the order book within the market structure, right? When we can read that, then we look for the follow through. Now this one followed through. That doesn't always happen, and this one followed through pretty well. I wanted to actually see, well, we got 16K up here. Okay, we were looking for that into 30K up here, and I wanted to see it break further though than that, and we didn't get that. So it's kind of stopping at 30K, and then we're starting to find sellers back in here. But these sellers, now watch them again. You know, they may get upended and squeezed. They'll be upended here where they started to sell. Okay, or maybe they take control here as well, right in here, and then really start to move this market lower now. Okay, now but they would be upended here. Okay, that same move that we saw to the upside in here, right in here, where at this 860 area here, where they were going to be upended, and we saw the buyers above it. The same idea, same concept here. Okay, this cluster, this is where those sellers will be upended, right? And then they will be squeezed, and then we'll be looking for the move back up into here. All right, so it's pretty simple stuff, and we just look at the condition of the auction, of the order flow here, and like I said, this works on all time frames. Okay, we can go to a Bookmap Web. We can look at a 15-minute chart in here, or was it 10-minute here? Okay, I didn't even talk about Multibook, nor did I talk about the sweeps. I would like to go over the sweeps with you guys. See how the sellers, see at this point here, sellers still remain in control. See how they've taken control here, and they're moving this market lower. All right, so if that's the case, then we're looking for 29,800. They're not getting upended up here. We're not finding any buyers. They're not even coming close to it yet. Now they may, but I'm not seeing it yet. So I'm looking for continuation into 800. So the what I wanted to cover here, and it's too bad that we don't have stops and icebergs as well. That would be beautiful. But we do have the sweeps and absorption indicator in here, and it's the sweeps I want to cover. And what the sweeps are telling you. Okay, we're talking about order book sweeps, and I'll show you what an order book sweep is as well. Okay, very simple indicator, and it's just showing within a very small time frame that a lot traded very quickly over multiple price levels. So let's put in three price levels here. Okay, and then let's just well, that's fine. We can leave liquidations on here. But see, this is what I wanted to cover. See how this coincides with liquidations. Okay, here's an order book sweep up here. Let's take the liquidity off. Okay, it's these kind of dark green. Boy, they're both dark green. Maybe I'll change the color here really quickly. All right, just for kicks, we're going to make it kind of orange just for now. All right, so these are book sweeps to the upside, and see the orange square. See how that coincides with liquidations here. So it's an order book sweep. What's an order book sweep? Let's zoom in. Okay. This is an order book sweep right here. You can't really see all the green dots in here unless I make them bigger, because they're hidden by the indicator. See how it's nothing but buying in here. There's not one sell in here. This is a very quick move, and we can see how much traded here very quickly within that 0.01 time frame. Okay, we had two events, 98 coins followed by 48 coins. Okay, so it took a little bit of a breather here, and then it moved again, and that's why we're getting two different reads in here. An order book sweep is when you get nothing but, like, well, yeah, for the most part, nothing but buying or selling, and it just triggers typically a lot of stops to the upside. So one after another is taking all the liquidity from one price level, the next price level, the next price level, etc. And it moves the market higher very, very quickly, typically. All right, and that's an order book sweep. And you can see best bid and offer update after that. And that's what's happening here. Okay, trade data and then order book data updates. All right, so now that coincides with the liquidation indicator. I mean, how much more transparency do you need, or do you want to see? And just to get these points across about the random walk of price and how it triggers sellers or buyers that are forced to sell or buy. Okay, and in these rotational markets, how you get rotational markets like this. Okay, so these two coincide, and they're very different things in terms of market structure. Very different. An order book sweep is a very, very quick move over multiple over multiple price levels in a very, very low time frame. Okay, nothing but buys or sells. That's moving the market very quickly. And that is indicative of a stop run many times. Doesn't have to be. Could be someone that just came in and maybe they just hit the market sell button really quickly and they were a big player. That happens. And that's not really an order book sweep. That's just a trader. He's moving price against himself. Oh yeah. I mean, Sam Bankman is I mean, he's making markets. No question. Providing liquidity. No question. On a very, very different scale. I mean, very different scale. Who are the typical common or common market participants running sweeps and stop hunts? Well, it's I mean, the stop run can happen without a large player. That doesn't matter. A lot of times though, like you get someone kind of move the market toward a direction. Now look at this sellers coming in here, guys. See how sellers are still in control from this point onward. See that? Even this retracement here, this is where the sellers came in. This is the key here, right? And they're still in control. Okay, I don't see a whole lot of buying in here right now. I see more selling than I do buying. Okay, for this very small time frame. So we still continue to look for it to go lower here. Okay, 800, 29,800. And now let's look at the heat map though. Where's the liquidity? Okay, well they're down here at 800. So we're looking for the move down into 800. Okay, it's an order book sweep already. Right here. And I'm looking for liquidations as well, and they are right here. So there you go. And this confirms it, like, the market probing these areas, sweeping the order book down and finding sellers here that are their long position is being liquidated by the exchange. And that gives a lot of insight to how these markets actually operate. All right, guys, let's see. I gotta go over some more details and questions here. I want to put the question or the promos up here as well, so you guys can dig into that. The where is it? Yeah, here. Okay. All right. So if you guys are interested in Bookmap, we're offering this until June 13th here. The 30% off, it's for anyone that's new here to Bookmap. So a new monthly subscription. It's only good for the first month. And then this is the code here. Okay, Crypto Series 30% off. I'm going to put that into the chat for you guys. You can so you can copy and paste it. There you go. And then we also we have another contest going on along with this discount. So you got to go over to our Discord chat room though, in the hashtag special events area here, and then type in the code CWS to enter. And then here's the link to our Discord chat room. I'm going to put that into the chat for you guys as well. There you go. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the same one. Hold on a minute. I'm getting there. Okay. There you go. Stupid Bear, there's no way to know where liquidations are before they are triggered. Same with the stops and stops and icebergs for the MBO data for futures only though. There's no way to know that. Once they start to transact, then we can ascertain what's going on. Okay, the same with liquidations. We don't know that. But you can, the one thing though that is really nice about this liquidations indicator is, guys, we were looking for that move into 800, and not only did it do it, it went below it here. Okay, and quite a bit of selling coming in. So sellers still remain in control here. Okay, hold on a minute here. This is getting a little too noisy. Okay, sellers still remain in control from our point right here at 29,940. They have not been tested by the buyers, and we just see more and more sellers in here. All right, so they've already traded back down to this cluster over here. Let's see if they can. Would love to see them trade down to about the 700 here. Okay, this is where we'll watch that whole move kind of break out from. They can even get down to like this kind of 640 area here. Lots of liquidations on the way down as well. Okay, so it probed, it tested, it found some. It's probing, testing the other side, and it's finding some as well. Let's see if they can continue to push it. Here's what I wanted to cover on that question. Do we know where they are? Look where they are though. It's kind of sad to be honest. They're all at the extremes, almost always. So you can start to develop all sorts of things to study and maybe move into a potential strategy for yourself by understanding liquidations. Okay, like Nick talked about liquidation divergence. This is something I've noticed as well. You look for maybe a retest of something, and let's suppose it retested back up here and it didn't find 16K, it found none. Or let's say it found 700 or 7,300, and 16K was over in this area here. Well, the market probed higher and didn't find anything, or found very little. So then we'd look for, well, if it's not, we're not finding buyers over here, with their positions being liquidated, likely kind of come back down to the middle of the range and likely test the other side of the range and see if there's sellers down here in this area and being liquidated. Okay, so start to notice some of these things and put together your own studies and develop your own strategies, because it's really amazing transparency into these markets, and it's all right here in front of us. All right, thanks guys, thanks everybody for coming, and we will catch up tomorrow. We have J Trader tomorrow with the crypto webinar series. Let me get to that slide. And yeah, we have J Trader here. He's been trading. He's a stocks trader for the most part. He's been trading crypto for I don't know, something like I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. We'll ask him more tomorrow. He's an excellent trader. So yeah, check that out. And then we have Tyler Wilson on Thursday at 10 a.m. and then at 1 p.m. on Thursday we have Crypto Lifer. Right, he can't do it in the morning, so we have two on Thursday. And then we have lined up Tino from Traders Reality on Friday. Still waiting to hear back from him on that. He switched from Tuesday to Friday. So anyway, some good stuff, some nice webinars ahead of us here. Looking for some great education for you guys to take a look at. All right, so if you like what you see here, please give us a thumbs up and like our video. This really helps us, as well as subscribing to our channel could be great, and helps us continue to make these kinds of videos in education. Thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow, same time. Okay, take care.